This is like literally a top 5 thing. Like, these are just my 5 things I think everyone should have when it comes to the newborn stage and why. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my newborn must-haves. Now in this video, I don't plan on giving you a long detailed list, everything you should buy. Like talking through this video, it is going to be my if you want to make your life easier with a newborn, these are the things you should buy. But before I talk about all those things, I did put together a list. I'll stick it here and you can screenshot it if you would like. But this is all the things I typically buy or make sure I have for the newborn stage, maybe up to 3 months. I'm gonna try and give a somewhat detailed list. It might not be everything, but this is just the things that I feel necessary as about to be third-time mom. Hopefully you find that list helpful if you are a first-time mom and don't even know where to start. I will also put that whole list in the description of this video, so if it's easier for you just to go down there and copy and paste it into something else, you'll have that option as well. I really wanted to focus this video on the things that I found really helpful through the newborn stages for me personally. And these are going to be products, brands, things like that I liked and I thought are worth sharing and are worth buying. I also will put everything linked below, so if you want to go look at it yourself, then it'll be an easy link for you to find it. And some things I'll physically show here, some things I might not be able to, but this is literally a top 5 thing. These are just my 5 things I think everyone should have when it comes to the newborn stage and why. So the first thing is a bassinet, and I will show you the picture of the one I have, and I recommend this bassinet or a style very, very similar to this. I have had 4 different bassinets, co-sleeping type things that I have tried, and this one is my favorite. I got it with my last, and I will keep it until we are done having kids. So the one I have is called the Baby Delight Bedside Me Dreamer Bassinet, and the reason why I think it is so good is that the side that you bring next to your bed can go up or go down. So if you have just had a baby, and even especially if you had a C-section, which I haven't had, but after having a baby, it is really hard to lift your baby out of things and physically go up and then physically go back in. And because this bassinet literally drops and it's just almost flush, it's not quite, there's a little bit of a dip, it is a lot easier to get your baby in and out. And I can even change my baby in his bassinet next to my side of the bed, his diaper and his clothes and everything, so I don't have to bring him into my bed if I don't want to. I tried the, oh man, I'm gonna butcher this name. I'll show you a picture of this other bassinet. I can't think of what it is, but a lot of people love it. They have the ones that swivel away from your bed, and then the one that swivel to your bed. That's the one I had. And you push down the sides with your arms, and then you can pull your baby in and out. And I hated it. It was such a pain getting a baby in and out of it. It was hard for me to really use. I did not love it. So I just decided that I would not get it again. So I haven't, and the one I have, because it goes down the way it does, I absolutely love it. And the only way I would probably switch to something else is if I got a Snoo or something, because so many people love those, but those are expensive, and I don't see myself buying one of those anytime soon. But this is my recommendation for a bassinet, and I would really think about what your use for a bassinet is going to be before you purchase your bassinet, because of something like that. If you're going to be taking your baby out in and out of you know, the bassinet multiple times a night and you planning on staying mostly in your bed for those types of things, I recommend this type of bassinet. I know some people who have their babies in their room but not next to them, and they get up out of bed, take care of the baby, maybe sit in like a, you know, glider or something while they care for the baby and then put the baby back. If that's what you do, it might not be like as necessary for you to have this particular bassinet, but I absolutely love this, and this will be my forever bassinet. Like I said, another product that I love and I think is great, particular for like nighttime time, is this Hatch Baby. I had to unplug it because it doesn't reach all the way over here, but this is the, let's see if this is a generation it is. I don't know what generation this is, but this is one of the Hatch. This is like the Hatch sound machine and a light. We have two of these. So one is still in my boys' room. So they are 4 and about to be 2. My youngest is about to turn 2. And we have theirs still in their room because it is red at night when they're sleeping. Because if you don't know, red light is like the best light you're supposed to have when you're sleeping. So it's red at night when it's their sleep time, and then it turns green in the morning, and we have like little birds chirping for like their wake up, so they know when their light turns green and the birds are chirping, it's time for them to get up, and then they know like they can get out of their room. And it works great for us when it comes to like their scheduling and keeping them in their room. They don't always stay asleep, but keeping them in their room until a decent time. And when it comes to newborn phase, I love it because next to my bed, I can have this light on or off. Like I can just tap it on, tap it off. It's not plugged in right now, so it's not working, but I can tap it on, have that really low red light, so it's enough to illuminate the baby's area, wherever the baby and I am when it comes to changing diapers, breastfeeding, that, without making the whole room super bright and without like waking myself up too much. And then it also has the white noise, a bunch of different sounds on it. So if you want to have it on to kind of block out any other noise for the baby, to help the baby sleep better, you can do that as well. I don't always use that sound part for the newborn stage unless it's like nap time, things like that. But the light is really, really helpful for me, at least in the newborn stage. I don't like to turn actual lights on in my bed when I'm getting up in the middle of the night. I think it makes it hard for me to go back to sleep, hard for my baby to go back to sleep, and also is disruptive to my husband. He probably honestly doesn't really, let's be honest, he probably doesn't even wake up to that kind of stuff. That's just not how my husband is. But I prefer the red light over a traditional light. And then this will just follow our baby into his nursery as he moves up out of our room. I have, like I said, this is the second, I think this is the second generation. This has like a time, so you can put the clock on it and everything. But I love these. I think that this is great. Like one of my favorite baby products. Another thing that I absolutely love that I randomly got in like a bunch of other things, and I was a little like, what is this? And I wasn't really sure, but this is the Frida's scissors that are nail clippers. That's what they look like. I'm sure it focuses on that. And like I said, got these. I got regular nail clippers. And if you have ever had a newborn baby, they have the finest, littlest nails that I have ever seen in my life. And these scissors make it super easy to cut their nails. And I've never, ever, ever cut my child. And they're just amazing. I absolutely love these scissors. I had before the regular like baby nail clippers, and they seem very hard to like get over their like nail. I only used it when my kids were newborn, so maybe it'd be fine now, but it just didn't feel as like easy to use as these scissors. So I still use these now with my older kids, and I think it's amazing. My oldest, my 4-year-old, likes to cut his own nails, so I like help him, cut his own nails. But these are great, and like they have the little blunt end on them, so it's not like you can like poke them or anything. But if you're gonna get nail clippers, I would get these before I get the traditional baby nail clippers. Like I said, these are from Frida. The next thing I definitely touched on in my last video, so if you've watched that video, then you probably already know what I'm gonna say when it comes to these. But a huge thing that I absolutely love are the baby gowns. Now I have a bunch of these, I'm just showing you two, but this is my copper pearl little baby gown. And baby gowns make nighttime diaper changing super easy. I mean, your kids can wear these during the day too, but they are super easy. This one just ties in the bottom, right? So you just, if your baby is in the gown at night and you're gonna change their diaper, all you do is push this part up until their diaper area is out. You change their butt and then you put it back down, and then this one ties at the bottom. But I just recommend, if you are gonna get some gowns like this, make sure you get the ones that have the little mitten parts that go over their hands, so you're not worried about them scratching themselves with those sharp little nails we were just talking about. But copper pearl one, super cute. I love copper pearl stuff because it's so soft. But also on Amazon, they have these right here. Let's see. Can't remember the exact name. It has HB on it, but I did already link it in my last video, and I'll link it again in this video. But these are a lot wider, so they can stay in it for longer. And this is just a rubber band at the bottom, and it just keeps their little feet in there. And then it also has the mittens, and I'm pretty sure I got like 4 of these for like the price of one of these. So this is a really good deal, and they work just as great. They are great. This is organic cotton, I'm pretty sure. But gowns are a must-have for me when it comes to newborn stage, because it makes diaper change so much easier at night when your kids are sleeping. I prefer this over the like traditional sleepers for the newborn stage. And then going from this to the next thing, which is going to be swaddles. Your baby being in this and then being swaddled, they're warm enough, right? And I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 swaddles here, okay? And I'm going to talk about each swaddle and what I like or dislike about the swaddles. I want to start with, this is an actual copper pearl swaddle blanket, okay? And if you can learn how to swaddle your child in an actual blanket like this, I think these are some of the best forms of swaddles. Like, most kids love these. It's actually pretty easy to do, and this is kind of the primary way I swaddle, especially for newborn nap times. I like these because they're super stretchy, if you can see it on here. So it's really easy to get your baby really, really nice and tight, and you can put them in any way you want them in the swaddle. Like, if you want their arms like this, you want their arms like this, you want their hands up close to their face. If they're like the baby that likes to have their hands close to the face, that's how my youngest was. He always wanted to have his hands, my first was like that. He always wanted to have his hands close to his face. So I would swaddle him sometimes with his hands almost like out, so he could like have his hands close to his face. But these are my favorite type of swaddle because there's so many extra uses. Like, this blanket you can use to swaddle, you can use to cover them if they're in their car seat or something, like hide them, use it as kind of like a car seat cover. You can just wrap them in it if you want to just have a little blanket around them. You can use it as a nursing cover. You can lay this down and put your baby over it, like clean up, spit up or anything. Like, these have like a million uses for them. So this is like my favorite type of swaddle. I also have a bunch of the like Muslim swaddle blankets that I like as well. They're not as stretchy, but they are really breathable. And I prefer to use this type of swaddle, particularly during the day. Now, I do like some of these other swaddles for nighttime because you don't have to unswaddle them to change their diapers. So I'm going to show you some of these, and then they're also easier to use than having to swaddle yourself if you're not as proficient in that, or maybe you're just worried that your baby can get out of it, things like that. This is one of my favorite. Now, this is a super tight swaddle. It makes your baby feel like really, really, you know, tight. So you don't have as much flexibility to make it as looser or tighter. It's just like kind of like a one tightness. So my first did really well on this. My second did not like the swaddle, but I liked it because it was really easy. All you do is place your baby in the swaddle, put their hands however you want their hands to go, and then you just zip the swaddle up. And it has a little mesh thing right here so it can be breathable. Let me tell you what the brand of this is. So this is the Woomy Classic Air. And like I said, I'll link it below. And then the bottom has a zipper so you can unzip the bottom, change their diaper, zip the bottom back up without having to take their arms out, which helps them not to be as startled for diaper changes when you have your baby swaddled. But like I said, this is really tight and you can't really adjust how loose or tight it is. So the range that you can use this is a lot smaller than some of these other swaddles I have. The next one I'm going to show is the Ollie swaddle. Now this is great for the fact that you can really adjust how loose or tight you make this swaddle. And it is open on the bottom, right? So you can get your baby's legs out depending on how short or long your baby's torso is. And then it has a tie, just like you tie up the bottom so it's like crunched together, right? The one thing I don't like about this swaddle is it is so loud. Like, listen. So when you're putting your baby in and out of the swaddle, this Velcro is so loud. And I only use this with my youngest one, but for my youngest, this one down here was still too close to his diaper area that I had to undo this one to be able to change his diaper. And that was a problem for me at night. So when he got a little bit older, it was a lot easier to use this swaddle. But I feel like the age from when he was old enough for it to fit him better into the age where he could no longer use it anymore because he was starting to like move and roll was very, very short. So this is not my favorite swaddle by any means. Another swaddle I do like is this one, which the tag is like really worn out, but it's the Dreamland, and this is a weighted swaddle. And I didn't really use this, well, I never had it during the newborn phase, so I don't even know if I would use this in the newborn phase. Honestly, I would probably just do this kind of swaddle because I like this swaddle the best. But with this swaddle, you have the ability to put this little part that is Velcroed over their chest or over their arms, depending on how you want to swaddle them, right? So you can put this over them. And then because this is just going to be over their kind of like chest area, it's like a comfort thing, their legs and everything are still free flowing. So you don't have the same issue that you would have with the Ollie swaddle. And then you can, one second, let me zip this back up. So for this particular one that I have, if you want, like when they're older, I did this with my youngest, is I would put this, the inside Velcro part over his chest, and then I would unsnap these buttons on the side, and then he could have his arms out, but he would still have this weightedness on him. And the bottom of this still has the other zipper, so you can unzip this and change their diapers with keeping their swaddle still on them. This is super versatile. I got this when my youngest was still, like, he wasn't rolling over quite yet. So he wore it like more like a traditional infant swaddle. And then when he got older and he was rolling over and he preferred to sleep on his belly, I actually put this swaddle on him backwards. So he wore it like this way, right? So this was his chest and then his back was over here because he would prefer to sleep on his belly. So this kind of gave him a little bit of weight on his back, but he had his arms out. And then I did put this part around his chest. I just did it like super, super loose because he didn't really need like that tight comfort of a regular swaddle anymore, and he used this swaddle until he got too long for it, and then he went to like a sleep sack, because this was essentially like a sleep sack because the arms could come out. Okay, I think that is everything that are like my newborn like favorites you have to have. Now to that long list that I showed at the very beginning of this video, those are all things that I personally purchased or I would purchase in certain circumstances. Like I have stuff like a formula on there. Obviously, I still buy formula, even though this will be the third baby that I breastfeed. I will always recommend any mom who is giving birth to have at least one can of formula and at least a handful of bottles at home, because God forbid you struggle to breastfeed, whether it's something that's going on with you or something going on with baby. Having formula there can be such an amazing gift to yourself, to your baby, to your partner. If for some reason you're having a hard time breastfeeding, the last thing you want to do is have a screaming, crying baby because they're super hungry. You're getting frustrated, your partner's getting frustrated because everyone just wants to make sure your baby is fed and not have formula on hand. Nowadays, there's not as many 24-hour places. I know by me, there's no 24-hour grocery store. There are some gas stations and stuff that I guess may have formula. I'm not quite sure because I don't really buy formula on a regular basis, but like there's no 24-hour Walmart anymore, right? So if you need formula in the middle of the night, it will save you a lot of stress and a lot of heartache if you know you have a can of formula there just in case baby needs it. And like I said, this is going to be the third baby that I breastfeed, and my two others I breastfed past a year and a half. So I do feel confident in myself to be able to breastfeed, but I do not know if my child will be able to breastfeed because he's not here yet. And some babies have no issue breastfeeding and other babies do, and the same things for moms. Sometimes it's harder for us and sometimes it's not. And milk supply, right? So there's so many things that can go into that. I don't know why I just brought that up, but I just thought I have formula on my registry and like I don't plan to give my baby formula, but I'm still buying a can of formula. So that's something to think about. If you plan on breastfeeding, you might want to purchase a can of formula just to be safe, and then you don't use it, gift it to somebody else, because there are plenty of people out there that would probably be very grateful to have an extra can of formula for their baby if you don't ever use yours. That's what I do. I just buy formula, and then if I don't use it, I just gift it to somebody else before it gets a chance to expire. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful to you when you're thinking about what you want to purchase for your newborn. And I will have my whole list of like everything to buy for baby in the description if you want to go and look through that to see if maybe you are missing something, or if you think I'm missing something in that list. Please tell me if you think there's something super important. I focused my list on kind of the first few months, not super long. I'm not saying everything you could ever buy for baby is on there. That's not what that list is for. It's really to just what you should have at home before you bring your newborn home. But I will see all of you in my next video. Hopefully it is up very, very soon. I'm going to try and get better about filming and posting my videos for all of you. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.